I wasn't supposed to be home that early. That's what I keep thinking. It was a Thursday. I'd taken the morning off to surprise my wife, Kara, with breakfast and coffee from her favorite place downtown. She had the day off work, and I thought, why not start it with something simple and kind? I didn't call. I wanted to knock on the door like some cheesy rom-com husband. Flowers. Coffee. Her smile. But that's not what I walked in on. The bedroom door was open. I could hear laughter. Not just hers. His. It took my brain a second to register it, the sound, the voices, the rhythm. But when I stepped into the room and saw my younger brother, shirtless, standing at the edge of my bed while Kara wrapped herself in the sheet, something inside me just shut off. I didn't scream. I didn't hit him. I didn't ask why. I just stood there. And said, "Really?" My brother, Nate, opened his mouth like he was about to say something dumb. Something like, "It's not what it looks like," but even he wasn't that stupid. Kara looked like she'd been caught cheating on a test, not like she'd just detonated our marriage. "I thought you were in Chicago," she said, like that somehow made any of this make sense. I turned around. Walked back out the door. Left the coffee on the kitchen counter. I drove around for hours after that. Didn't answer texts. Ignored calls. The shock turned into numbness. The numbness turned into something worse. Because by the time I pulled into my parents' driveway that night, Nate was already there. Sitting on the porch. Waiting. Nate stood as I pulled into the driveway, like he thought maybe we'd hug it out. Like we were still brothers and this was just a bad misunderstanding. I didn't even get out of the car at first. Just sat there. Hands on the wheel. Engine running. Thinking, if I drive away right now, this conversation doesn't have to exist. But I killed the engine. Got out. Walked past him without a word. "Can we talk?" he asked, following me to the porch. "No," I said, sitting on the step. "But I guess we're doing it anyway." He stayed quiet for a second, then blurted out. "It was a mistake." I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was so pathetically predictable. Which part? Sleeping with my wife or thinking I wouldn't find out? He sat down beside me, far enough away to be scared. "Good. We didn't plan it," he said. "It just happened. Once." I looked at him. He broke eye contact first. "Twice," he corrected. But that was it. I didn't answer. A few minutes later, Kara called. I let it ring. Nate looked at the screen lighting up in my hand like it was a bomb about to go off. "She wants to talk to you too," he mumbled. We thought maybe we could all just move past it. That's when I realized something. They weren't sorry they did it. They were sorry I knew. They wanted me to carry the shame with them. To keep the secret. To play along. Like I was supposed to protect the family image. Keep our parents in the dark. Pretend this was just a bump in the road instead of a betrayal I'd never asked for. "I need time," I said, standing up. "Alone." "Please don't tell Mom and Dad," Nate whispered. And that's when I knew I was done protecting him. Not because I wanted revenge. But because someone in this story needed to stop lying. Thanksgiving at my parents' house used to be sacred. Always the same, my mom's perfect table, my dad carving the turkey like it was a science experiment, Nate cracking dumb jokes, and Kara sitting beside me, smiling like she belonged there. This year, everything felt off. It had been 3 weeks since I walked in on them. I hadn't told anyone. Not yet. I needed to watch them. To see how they carried it. Kara hugged my mom when we arrived. Brought her a bottle of wine. Made polite conversation. She wore the same scarf she wore the first Thanksgiving we spent together. Nate arrived 10 minutes later, pretending nothing had happened. He gave me a half nod, like we were teammates again. And suddenly I wasn't sad anymore. I was furious. Dinner was calm. Too calm. My parents were glowing, talking about retirement and cruises and how it's so nice to have everyone under one roof again. Kara laughed at Nate's joke. Nate refilled her wine. It was like watching actors in a play about my own life, and I wasn't part of the script anymore. I waited until dessert. My mom brought out her famous pumpkin pie, and everyone passed plates. Nate reached for the whipped cream, and Kara was mid-laugh when I said, quietly but clearly, "Did you tell them you slept with my wife?" The silence was instant. The kind that changes the temperature in the room. My mom's hand froze mid-air. My dad blinked, like he wasn't sure he'd heard right. Nate dropped the whipped cream. Kara went pale. My mom said, "What?" I looked directly at Nate. "Or do you want me to explain it?" He opened his mouth. Closed it. My dad stood. Not fast. Just stunned. "Nate?" Kara whispered, "Please don't do this here." And that's when I lost it. You already did this here. In our lives. In our home. And I'm the one who has to carry it like a secret disease so you two can keep playing happy family. No one moved. My mom started crying. My dad sat back down slowly, like his knees gave out. Nate looked at me like I'd ruined his life. But I didn't ruin it. He did. I just stopped pretending. It's been 8 months since Thanksgiving. I moved out 2 weeks after that dinner. Kara didn't fight me. She didn't cry or beg. She packed a small bag and stayed at her sister's for a while. I stayed in the house until I couldn't stand the silence anymore. Every drawer I opened reminded me of what I'd lost. Or maybe what I never really had. We signed the divorce papers in March. No screaming, no custody fights, no kids, thank God. Just silence. Cold, tired silence. Nate? He stopped coming around. Mom tried to keep the peace, but even she couldn't pretend it was just a mistake. Dad hasn't spoken to him since that night. I think part of him broke when he realized the son he raised was capable of something like that. They're together now. Not officially. Not Facebook official, not hand-holding at dinner official. But I know they are. People talk. Friends slip. One of Kara's old co-workers bumped into me at the grocery store and said, "She seems happy with Nate." I just nodded. And yeah, I still see them sometimes. At a distance. At the farmer's market. In traffic. Once at the same gas station. She looked at me. He didn't. Her eyes said everything. Not love. Not shame. Just recognition. Like she knew I'd never forget. And she'd never be able to explain. I thought about confronting them again. Thought about one more dramatic scene. But what would that prove? That I'm still angry? That I'm still wounded? I am. But I'm learning to carry it differently. Some betrayals don't get closure. Some wounds don't heal with time. They just become a part of you, quiet, deep, and permanent. People ask me if I regret not hitting Nate that day. No. Because what I did hurt worse. I took away the lie that kept them comfortable. And now, every time they smile, they remember who saw them for who they really are.